Trojan Philly, what's up, man? USCJ here. It's the top of the morning. It's the top of the morning. Listen, I hope everybody is getting ready to get up, get out, and make some things happen this morning. Listen, we got to talk about Caleb Williams, Miller Moss, picked as the #1 unit returning in college football. You heard it right. Caleb Williams, Miller Moss, when you're talking about quarterbacks, they were picked as the #1 quarterback unit returning. And look, we got to talk about this because you guys know approximately about a month ago, I brought you a video that said entitled Miller Moss is next up. It was approximately about a month ago. We'll take a look at that. You guys haven't watched that, go back and watch it. But look, to be able to have this depth with Caleb Williams and Miller Moss, and you guys already know, Lincoln already stated that Miller Moss is the clear #2. Malachi has to learn. But we want to take a look at that. We want to take a look at this list. You got about, I think it's about 10 or 12 guys, some 20 or 12 units rather, that have been penciled in and picked. So we're going to take a look at that. So let's take a look at this information real quick. Miller Moss, Caleb Williams, #1 college football unit, returning quarterbacks. Let's take a look at it. Let's go to this list real quick. And as you see here, when you're talking about unit rankings, when you talk about the quarterback rankings, you see who's up top. But I'm already going to tell you right now, there's some quarterbacks that I don't necessarily agree with being on here for the simple fact that we'll talk about it. But if you see here, USC is going to be the #1, rightfully so. USC needs to be #1. You got Caleb Williams, Miller Moss, both of those guys coming in there. And then you're going to have #2, Jaden Daniels, and you know, he came from Arizona State. You already know he's a good quarterback, very mobile quarterback. And I think when you look at what he did at LSU last year, I think that it actually fits him to be there. But then when you look at #3, they got Arch Manning sitting there at the #3 quarterback. But the other guy, I cannot remember that guy's name. But you're going to have Quentin Ewers, the #1 spot. But the middle guy is the guy that could possibly take. If you guys ever watched that game, the spring game, the guy in the middle, which I can't recall his name right now, absolutely can sling the ball. But they got a pretty quarterback room. But I'm very surprised that if you look at #4, Drake May, he was only second, I think, in yardage. When you're talking about, he had 4,000 some yards when he slung that ball last year, passing it all over the place. And I'm kind of surprised that they have, but when you're talking about as a unit, I guess they're going to factor in a backup quarterback as well. But then coming in at #5, which is kind of weird. When you're talking about Oklahoma, #5, you put them over somebody like Oregon, which is crazy. And then even Georgia, that makes absolutely no sense. You guys hit me in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. When you look at, because you got Ty Thompson, who absolutely can sling the ball for Oregon. And then you got Bo Nix, who's the #1, who's better than I know both of these guys here at Georgia and these guys at Oklahoma, the quarterback that transferred from Central Florida last year. So that you guys hit me in the comment section. You tell me what you think. Now, Hendon Hooker, the quarterback that came out for Tennessee, who just got drafted, his backup was actually pretty decent last year. So, off the top of my head, I will move Oregon up to where Oklahoma is and move Tennessee up to where Georgia is. And I will put Oklahoma down to #7 and put Georgia down to #8. That's just my thinking off the top of my head. And then I will flip these two right here. When you're talking about Ole Miss, when you're talking about UCLA, both of these quarterbacks, when you look at the quarterback for UCLA, they got Deontay Moore, but he's not proven yet. Then they got the Kent State transfer, and they got one more guy over there. But then Ole Miss, of course, you guys already know, they just got a quarterback that came from, I believe he came from LSU, if I'm not mistaken. No, I'm sorry. He came from Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State quarterback that was starting last year came to Ole Miss. Then you got Jackson Dart there as well. So this list is kind of discombobulated all over the place. Just when you're talking about from #5 to #10, you can kind of do some mix and matching, man, because it's not supposed to be, I don't think it should be where it's at. But rightfully so, I think USC should be at #1, the best quarterback unit in the country. You guys hit me in the comment section. You guys tell me what you think. Also, about a month ago, March 23rd to be exact, when I published this, got this out of my YouTube studios, I did a video about Miller Moss may be next up. Go check that video out. It's been over a month ago now. But go check that video out. Miller Moss is next up. And this list right here really confirms that USC is very fortunate right now to have two quarterbacks like this. We need Miller Moss to stay. Miller Moss, listen, when we open up against LSU next year in the 2024 season, as I stated in this video right here, when we open up against LSU next year, we need Miller Moss to be at quarterback. And I'm sticking to that. I love Malachi, but I think Miller Moss, even what he showed in the spring, he is a very capable quarterback and can start anywhere in the country right now. Now, we know that Caleb is just on another planet by himself, and that's just, it is what it is. 4,537 yards, 42 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 87.6. That's just being on another planet, man. Caleb is Caleb. We're very fortunate to have him. We know Miller Moss didn't sling it that much last year, but he did have an opportunity to get in there somewhat, and we'll see his numbers here. And here's Miller Moss' actual numbers right here. And as you see, in 2022, he went 12 for 14 with an 85.7 completion percentage, 159 yards on the season. So look, his long was 40 yards, 1 TD. So even though he didn't get in that much, he was behind Caleb Williams, and rightfully so. Caleb Williams will be, as we're about to see right now, the #1 pick next year, period. And here's the actual list. As you see here, PFF, we're not talking about just quarterbacks, but we're talking about the #1 player is projected to be Caleb Williams next year in the NFL draft. So that's being in a whole nother level. And so if you're Miller Moss, you in actually like one of the best spots that you could possibly be in. And this is another thing I don't understand about that list. You see here, Caleb was #1, but then you have Drake May #2, but then they had the whole quarterback room down to #4 for North Carolina, which is crazy. They probably could have put them at #2, but I don't know too much about their backup. But one thing I do know is Caleb Williams, Miller Moss, those two are excellent guys to be able to have for quarterbacks 1 and 2, man. And then Malachi sitting at #3. That creates just a heavy quarterback, top-heavy quarterback room as it relates to the quarterback. So you guys hit me in the comment section. You guys tell me what you think. Miller Moss, Caleb Williams, QB1, best quarterback room in the country. All right, so those are the top quarterback units right there. Miller Moss, Caleb Williams coming in at #1. And listen, you guys hit me in the comment section. Let me know. Do you guys agree with those picks right there? Of course, you know Lincoln Riley is the master quarterback teacher, and you already know that Caleb Williams and Miller Moss, they're going to be up there at top anyway. But then you couple that with somebody like Malachi Nelson that's sitting right behind those guys. And then you got some other guys that's right behind them as well that are decent quarterbacks as well. Yeah, they prefer walk-ons, but those guys have some ability as well. So you guys hit me in the comment section. What do you guys think about USC having the best quarterback unit right now when you look at it, especially when you look at it from a two deep standpoint, 1 and 2? Hit me in the comments. Let me know. Listen, we are expecting a commitment. From what I hear, it's a possibility a big-time commitment can be coming this week. So you guys be on the lookout for that. Until later on, listen, everybody stay blessed. Listen, don't forget to make sure you get up, get out, and make some things happen. Until later on, fight on, fight on, fight on.